What's up, everybody? Welcome to the We Are Indie Nation podcast. I am Evan J. Thomas. With me always is Dennis Stover, episode number 6, season number 5. Today we will talk about the currently now 8th ranked Notre Dame Fighting Irish's 51-14 domination of the previously undefeated Navy. We've got our fan questions are back, and Dennis and I have two incredible idiots of the week. We're going to be bringing that one out. Oh my God, this is going to be a fun little rant for both of us.
Yes, sir.
So this
Yes,
is gonna be a
sir,
lot
it
of
is.
fun. So this game, 51-14, a
Man,
lot of people, a lot of people had Navy winning this game.
yeah.
I didn't. You didn't. What are your takes of the game so far that you saw?
I mean, I originally had two idiots of the week, two of the game day panelists that picked Navy and picked the Navy convincingly. I like all morning
Yep.
long. I
Straight
actually had
up.
time to watch game day today because I wasn't up working, or excuse me, on Saturday, and the game was at noon. So I was like, guys, I'm going to be late. So with that being said, watching all morning, and they were talking like doom and gloom, like Navy was world beaters all of a sudden, and Roger Staubach was back. There was Heisman talk about what's his name, I don't know, the
Habert,
quarterback for
Haber,
Navy,
Herbert,
Herzog.
one of those.
Anywho, and yeah, Navy they did, they beat up on teams that they should have, I guess, beat up on. I don't know. I don't think they played anybody. And honestly, it was a very complete game for Notre Dame. Riley Leonard looks like what we expected game one. Um, so I'm gonna throw kudos to Riley Leonard. I've been ragging on him all year. And rightfully so. He still was like late on a couple throws and stuff, but regardless, it was Navy, and that's what you should do against Navy as a Notre Dame football player.
Correct.
They were throwing out, Navy's passing now. Oh my God, Navy's passing. They should have been passing a while ago, years prior, still running the triple option. Obviously, they adapted and took variations from the option offenses and put it in with the spread, and it works for them. But again, Notre Dame's defense is rock solid. And
Yeah.
I mean, they could have gave up more points to Navy. Navy got down a lot of times within scoring in the red zone, and that D held them up with a D that's depleted. Ben Morrison's out. What's his name? Who transferred? Who would have been playing? Mickey. He's gone.
Oh yeah, Jaden Mickey.
We're losing a couple, I think, on the line. Anyway, they played great. What's his ass is awesome. God, I can't remember his name now. I'm sorry, folks. I'm tired. But it was a good overall performance, and I'm very happy. The offense looked great. Jeremiah Love all day, and it was a good win, and I'm glad they blew them out because they have to blow out all these teams.
Yeah.
And I'm really finally happy these pollsters pulled their head out of each other's asses. And Notre Dame should have been. I'm happy they're number 8. Very happy. But the fact that they stayed at 12 for like 3 weeks is fucking befuddling.
That is. And you had mentioned during the game, you and I were kind of FaceTiming each other for the first quarter. So
Yeah.
at the end of the game, overall, Notre Dame's defense had 6 turnovers. 5 of them were fumble recoveries. So
Awesome.
with exception, they had that. To me, though, Riley Leonard is running the offense, like you said, like he should have been from the beginning. To me, right now, he is a game manager. So he's doing
Yeah.
what
So
is
he's
necessary.
Jack Cohen who can run.
He's doing what is necessary to win, and his running ability to me makes
His
his
running ability is super awesome.
phenomenal.
You cannot beat him up for that because he definitely is a hard runner, and he's quick on his feet, and all the buzzwords that they elusive and whatnot. But yeah, he's a great runner. He's a great athlete, and he's finally throwing the ball well.
I'll go over some Leonard's stats. So he was 13-21, 178 yards, 2 touchdown passes, 10 carries, 83 yards with another touchdown. This passed the ball around to 9 different receivers. The week before it was 11 different receivers. So that works. Yeah, Jeremiah Love, 12 carries, 102 yards, 2 touchdowns. Kedron Young with 10 carries,
Yeah.
2 yards, and 1 touchdown. Jordan Faison had some catches. Bo Collins had another catch and a touchdown. So kind of nice to see these
Awesome.
guys. So yeah, that's been it was a solid game across the board
Yeah.
for this team, which is what they needed. And like you said, solidified their number 8. I mean, I'm looking at a ranking that I actually saw here for the playoff on the New York Times about
I
five
mean,
minutes.
A&M now, that's a good win
Yeah,
because they beat they came back and beat LSU.
yeah. Looking at the 12 team bracket. This is via the New York Times about 20 minutes ago. The top 4 seeds as of this moment: Oregon number 1, Kansas State number 4, Miami number 2, and Georgia. So you got the 4 conferences. Then you have Texas versus Indiana in one game, Ohio State and Boise State in another game, Notre Dame and Clemson in one game, and then Penn State and Tennessee in a game.
Wow.
Your bubble teams are Alabama and BYU.
Absurd. What about Pitt? Pitt is undefeated.
Yeah, I don't understand that.
How is Alabama getting that much love for 2 losses? Are you fucking kidding me? Nick Saban is gone.
Exactly.
Stop it.
So I'm looking at the rankings here. Yeah, they're only up to 18 though.
They're
So
undefeated.
I know, I know they are undefeated. So is
God damn, dude.
ISU's undefeated, and they're not in those top 14.
Iowa State.
Iowa State, Iowa State
So
is
so they should be number
7-0.
1 in the Big 12. Who's number 1 in Big 12 right now?
That's a good question because Kansas State.
It's either Kansas State or Iowa State.
I had Kansas State because that was one of the ones I called out.
Dude, what's up with this?
And then you have IU, who's in that bracket. They're 8-0. And like you said, Pitt's in there at 7-0. Army 7-0, but we play them in 2 weeks. So yeah, that's a very interesting little bracket that I saw because, like you said,
Yeah.
why is Alabama still in there when Alabama
How is
is number
Alabama still in there?
14 right now? Boise State, like you said, is in there. LSU has dropped out. Yeah, Kansas State must be undefeated in the Big 12 but they're ranked 17th, so they're 6 behind ISU. I don't know.
I don't know. They're really looking at their loss or who they've played. Like
Obviously.
it's really a big deal now, the schedule, because
Yeah. Well, it
again,
has
this
to
goes
be.
back to Notre Dame. They really are gonna force their hand. I mean, and they have to. Well, Notre Dame's gonna be on the outside looking in one of these times.
So there are several Notre Dame games left, or a few, or many.
Couple.
The whole, a couple. Yeah. So there are 4 games
4
left.
games.
And we're going to get into one of those in a fan question in a bit. So obviously this week we have a bye week, so we'll go over that here shortly. And then Notre Dame is going to be at home against Florida State, who's 1-7. Yeah, that doesn't look tough. At home against at home against Virginia, and then they're going to be playing the game over at Yankee Stadium against Army, who is 7-0 currently, and then they finish the season at USC, who is 4-4. So let's get into one of the fan questions. So we'll do that right
All
now.
right, let's go.
So Daniel Reynolds, who in our We Are Ending Nation chat group today,
Hi, Daniel. Thank you.
of the 4 games left on the schedule, which game do we feel is the toughest and why? Dennis,
You want to start? Oh, okay. I'm gonna say it's got to be spoiled children at the end.
Yeah.
Got to be. That's a rivalry game, even though Lincoln Riley, plays off that rivalry and shit, and that chump ass. But yeah, it's got to be them. I mean, Florida State, but they're just done.
Bad.
They're really bad. And unless Notre Dame decides to play a Marshall game or NIU game, they should blow out Florida State. Because Florida State, those who's ever playing, that could be their season right there. Beat Notre Dame on a Saturday night at Notre Dame Stadium.
Yeah, it is a
That'd be
Saturday
huge
night
for a
game.
1-7 team. But again, I think Freddie's got them clicking. They've won 6 in a row, the longest streak under Freddie Freeman or Freddie Freeman. Ha! See, it shows you
So
where my head is at. Woo!
speaking of
Is he a
Freddie
Yankee
Freeman,
killer or what? Anyway,
four home runs in this series in four straight games, and 6 home runs in 6 straight games, dating back to 2021 when he was with the Braves.
amazing. And also, too, take that, Jim Leyritz, you fat bastard. Goes back to 99 and stuff for taking out the Braves. This is your comeback, Yankees, your comeuppance. So take it.
There you go. So
Anyway, Marcus Freeman's got him playing really well at a six game winning streak now, and they're playing like they should have played, and not taking things for granted. Again, that NIU loss is going to sting for years.
there was actually somebody in the chat too. I'll give this guy credit. Joe T. Ellie in our We Are Ending Nation chat. NIU has inspired this team and its coaches.
Yeah,
So I obviously with that loss,
I would agree with him.
changed 100%.
I hope Marcus Freeman really went in there and just like tore him up and like took off the kid gloves and like really laid into him a little bit. He didn't have to swear at him or belittle him, but like get mean. Like,
yeah.
You should lose this game. You don't lose, just build him up.
I was gonna say pull like a Brian Kelly, but then we see Brian Kelly lose to Texas.
It's like Nick Saban is the only coach that was allowed to, like, it was okay for him, but every other coach is under a microscope it's
Sure.
absurd.
I mean, that's just how it is. I mean, when you have what, seven
But why does Saban get a pass?
I don't know.
I mean, I know why, because he's a great coach, but anyway.
So that was our one question. Again, thank you, Daniel Reynolds, for that.
Thank you, Daniel.
We do have one more, and actually, you kind of mentioned this in our last show that we did. We did miss last week. We apologize for that. Dennis and I just both couldn't get it together to do a show.
Get it together.
So this question comes from John C. Hoy II. So we have gone away from our tight ends. Why have we done that? We rarely use them anymore when they used to be a great part of our offense. So yes, the last 2 years or so, we've had a
2 years
bunch of good.
Fucking all of Brian Kelly. When Brian Kelly came in, he had fucking number 9.
The past 2 years, we haven't really utilized our tight ends.
Last year they did a little bit.
They did a little bit.
Dude was injured though. What's his face went down. God, I used to be so good remembering everybody's name. I can't remember. Yeah, I can't remember anybody's name. I think the reason why is because injured linemen.
Yes.
And so they've had to have the protection to block. Because, Anthony Knapp is a freshman. Although that kid is really, I tell you what, he is – Notre Dame is solid at left tackle and right tackle for a couple years because Jagashaw comes back. I know I probably pronounced that wrong. And we have Knapp now. And then you have Emil Wagner too. It's like, man, so well done. But I think that could be why, to give more pass protection or run blocking for Leonard and Love.
So I totally agree with you there. The one other thing too, I don't really see them doing a lot of seam passes.
Well, Denbrock, look at LSU's offense and what Denbrock has run. LSU didn't run any tight ends. They had 4 and 5 wide receiver sets all last year.
Yeah, so there you go. So that's why they're probably not using the tight ends like they used to back in the day.
Which sucks because we would get some gems.
Speaking of gems, I don't know if you saw this, but Wesley Pritchett's kid. Wesley Pritchett was on our show last year.
Yeah.
Mitchell is going to Alabama next year, tight end.
Wow.
Yep. And I saw a picture of Wesley.
I hope you rethink that because Kalen DeBoer is the coach, man. I know it's still Alabama and stuff. You're seeing what's happening. And I'm not saying Kalen DeBoer isn't a good coach, but Alabama's a different world, man. SEC is a different world.
And another player that I got to see in person a week and a half ago, Talon Taylor, the wide receiver from Geneva. That dude had 4 touchdowns in the game that I went to. He had 3 receiving and 1 100-yard kickoff.
Stop.
Yeah. Dude, phenomenal. Like nobody could catch him. The catch he made in the back of the end zone was up in the back corner, went up for it over another guy. I mean, he could have been you've been Moss. That could have been what he could have done.
That kid's ready for college, man.
Yeah, and he's going to Georgia, so it's kind of pretty
I'm glad he's
cool.
going. I'll take Georgia. It's I wish he'd come to ND, but I'll take Georgia all the
Well, his
way.
mom went there, and I knew from day one,
Yeah, it's a
the
legacy.
moment he
That's a
went there,
legacy. Kirby Smart is chomping at the bit, man.
yeah,
Plus two, I mean, it's Georgia.
it's Georgia. They're right
It's
now
Georgia.
what, 3-2. They're in the top.
Yeah, what? Probably. Oh, they might be too.
They're in the top five for sure. Let's see.
Was it Oregon? Penn State's still three. So it's got to be Georgia, and then Ohio State.
Rankings. Georgia is 2.
Yeah,
Oregon, Georgia, Penn State, Ohio State, Miami.
nice.
Miami to me is
Where's Texas at?
ooh. Texas is 6, Tennessee 7,
Notre
Notre
Dame 8.
BYU, Texas A&M is 10.
I mean, that is the top. That should be the top 10.
Yeah, I mean
There's nothing. They finally got it right. The first week, the pollsters got it right, I think.
Indiana, which I mean they have. We'll see what happens when they play Ohio State.
Right.
So we'll see.
Dude, that Signetti, that coach is
Dude, that guy
awesome.
is
He's
unbelievable.
electric.
He is awesome. He is like your new generation of coach
I
who.
love that guy. He's from the Saban tree. And
Mhm.
just the one during the press conference when he's like, I've won everywhere. Google me. It's just like, here's my fucking bonk. And he just put it on the table.
Here's my bonk.
I didn't want to say it,
Your schlong. Just drop it.
wiener. And just bang, just
All right.
laying it out there.
You and I are having fun with this. Let's go into another our idiot of the week.
Oh yeah.
Holy hell. You don't even know who mine is, but I'm
I
about to
don't.
go.
Why don't you go? I've
I'm
talked
going to
about
go first because I think yours is going to be a little bit more electric than mine. So, Idiot of the Week brought to you by our other podcast, which is an Idiot's Guide to Sports Fandom. My Idiot of the Week is Bears head coach Matt Eberflus. I have to sit and listen to 5 hours of Bears talk per day. What happened this past Sunday? Not calling a timeout before the Hail Mary play where everything was in effing chaos. And now losing his locker room just 2 days later after defending his dumbass decisions, and players saying that they don't practice enough or they don't do enough and they don't do that. And this guy should have been here. He's not being no consequences so far with what happened on this play. Yes, it was one play. It was a horrible play, but because that Tyreek Stevenson, who played at Miami, was taunting fans, came running
right.
in the corner at the
Right.
last
And the
second.
ball's in the air.
Ball's in there. He was supposed to box out the guy that caught the ball. Instead, he goes up to try to knock it down. Doesn't even get close to knocking it down. Looks like he tried to catch it, and he tipped it backwards to the guy who caught it.
I
So
was so
Matt
happy Jay
Eberflus,
Daniels won. I was so happy.
I almost went Tyreek Stevenson on this one, but since
Yeah.
then, this whole thing with Matt Eberflus, people are saying he should be fired. They're saying
He
he
should have never been a coach to begin
he
with.
still shouldn't be the coach. I said last year they shouldn't have. And then it comes out the other day that Ben Johnson, the Lions offensive coordinator, after last year was hoping to have this job available for him to take. How stupid do Bears people look?
It's the McCaskey family.
They have okay,
It's
Matt
Chicago
Eberflus
ownership.
is the worst coach in Bears history currently with his loss record. Why would you keep him for another year?
They need to get rid of Ryan Pace. I mean, the best thing for the Bears
Sell
would
it.
be for the McCaskies to sell them.
Sell the team.
Because then Chicago would finally get the team that Chicago deserves.
Or you can be like the White Sox, just move to Nashville. So there you go.
Ugh. They're really going to move to Nashville?
No, that's a rumor though. So anyway, I want you to go with your idiot of the week. So yeah, my idiot of the week, Matt Eberflus, Chicago Bears head coach. Dennis,
As my idiot of the week
I'm with you.
is an NFL player. And it's very important now because we are a week from today is the most important election of our life. You can choose between a dictator, autocrat, or you can choose someone who still hopes for democracy. So everyone get out and vote. Doesn't matter. I didn't say who you could pick either one. I'm just saying go and vote. But know what you're voting for. Again, one's an autocratic, ones for democracy and American to continue the way we all have always been in this great idea of ours. So my idiot of the week is Nick, the bigot Bosa, for going on in the middle. And he can have his views and he can be MAGA as all the live long day, but to steal the thunder from McCaff or who are they interviewing?
Purdy and Kittle, I think.
Right, Kittle, right. And to steal that thunder, which had nothing to do with it, on the same night that orange megalomaniac and his cronies are having a fucking hate Nazi rally at MSG, the same night this guy's going to show up with a MAGA hat. First of all, make America great again. It's never been great for indigenous people or black people or brown people. So let's get that fucking straight. Get out and vote and make sure we don't fall into this fucking shit again. For 10 years, we've been dealing with this. Time to get back to fucking normal.
So to follow up on that, so he was asked about that in his post-game meeting interview. He didn't want to talk about it.
Exactly. Oh, it's so easy, right? But then when you confront them and show them the actual facts, they shit their pants every fucking time.
Another thing, what team does he play for?
The 49ers. Think about that. The city he's in, the locker room. There's players in there. You don't think your teammates are black and brown, dude?
Not only that, who has been chastised from the NFL because of their stance?
Colin Kaepernick. This guy takes a knee, exercising anything, again. But here, he can do his MAGA thing. And Colin Kaepernick takes a knee and he's blacklisted. And he's not playing again. When he should be in the NFL, there's a lot of chumps that are under center. And this guy's sitting at home. Because the NFL is nothing but, all right, I won't go any. They're horrible owners. And they're basically have been exploiting, obviously, they've been exploiting black and brown people forever. Anyway, that's why I don't like the NFL.
Yeah, you and I had
their owners are shit.
Our conversation Saturday got pretty ripping on owners.
Yeah, and I know this is the Notre Dame show, so I apologize, folks, but it's a very important time in our life, and sometimes football is second nature when it comes to something this important. And he has a platform and he can do what I want, but this is my only platform, so I'm doing what the fuck I want and calling that bigot out.
And there are people that probably watch a show that are that
and they can vote for Trump. They can vote for whoever. That's the beautiful thing of America. But I promise you, if that fucker wins, this will be the last time we vote.
Yeah,
autocrat. Look it up. Autocratic theocracy. Look it up.
All right, take that drink. Take a breath.
Anyway,
what are you doing on your bye week for Notre Dame? What games are you?
I'll be working. I'll be working a lot because I'm trying to get things. The transition is still very real. I honestly I can't tell you. I haven't looked at the slate of games for this Saturday. So if you would enlighten me, I would
Ohio
be
State,
happy to
number
indulge.
4, Ohio State at number 3, Penn State. That's the game of the week. That's all you have to say.
Penn State and who?
Ohio State, number 4, Ohio State 6-1 at number 3, Penn State 7-0.
I'm gonna take Ohio State because James Franklin always finds a way to lose that game. And Ryan Day is fine, but Ryan Day squeaks out the games. He should have lost an ND game. He squeaked that out. Was it last week? They almost lost.
Yeah. Who did they play last week? It was
and Oregon. Let's face facts. I mean, that was a close game. Ohio State had some chances to win, but they didn't.
Ohio State last week. Nebraska 21-7 at home.
Right.
21-17 at home.
Right.
The week before, Nebraska got shellacked by Illinois.
Yeah, and Illinois got pummeled by Oregon.
Exactly.
I like that Illinois team too, man. That Luke Altmaier was at the time before they played Oregon. I think he had 15 or 7, an exorbitant amount of touchdowns compared to one interception.
I said Illinois. It was Indiana. Nebraska went into Indiana 2 weeks ago and lost 56-7.
Man, Indiana. Signetti's going to be. It's going to be a shame because some school's going to scoop him up.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Maybe even after this year, like a big school.
So I'm looking at Indiana's points per game. I think they're number one or number two, something like that.
Watch USC. If USC tanks, they're going to fire Lincoln Riley because, well, then again, maybe not because he's paid a lot. But I don't know. I don't think they're recruiting that well. And the AD, that's not his hire. It's a new AD.
Mm-hmm.
So
So
hopefully Notre Dame can go into Coliseum and just wax them.
Indiana this week this week plays Michigan State. Then they're home against Michigan. Then they're at Ohio State on the 23rd of November. And then they finish the season at home against Purdue, which they always play Purdue the last game. So I can see just one loss with them. So they could be 11-1.
Yeah.
And then
Wow.
12. So there you go. So we don't have any games to pick this week. We don't have any Notre Dame games to pick.
Yeah. I forgot they had a bye week this week.
Yeah. I was looking last week too. I'm like, wait, who do they play? And somebody's like, they have a bye. I'm like, what? That's right. They have two because they keep changing it every year. We don't know why, but whatever.
Yeah. Well, because they're having a hard time scheduling. You remember everybody before would be lining up to play Notre Dame to get a shot at it.
Wait, was this the year?
Yeah, this was the year they filled in Army at the very end and they had to change things. We were supposed to play oh shit. Was it BYU?
Or was it Miami?
There was a falling out. Maybe it was Miami. But that would be the ACC slate. So
Somebody backed out on that.
I think it was I think it was BYU or something because Notre Dame wasn't willing to do the home and home thing.
Gotcha.
If I remember correctly,
Okay.
I could be wrong.
Cool.
I could be wrong.
There's our week. There's our
That was a fun show.
calendar.
That was a fun show, man.
It was heated at the end, not between each other, just
I mean, yeah. That was my idiot of the week because I was just like, I don't know. You can vote for him, but just stealing the thunder during the interview, and that's how you stole the thunder the same night the hate rally's happening. And just
yeah.
Anyway, I'm not trying to bring us down. Go Irish. It was a great game. Navy took them out. And I think they can finish, on that'll be great. So they'll finish on a 10-game winning streak. That'll be nice, man.
7-1. Yeah.
That'd be real nice.
4 points jump in the rankings. So from 12 to 8, that's pretty sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be an interesting week.
They gotta blow out the rest.
They do. You and I will hopefully get back together early, late next week. Who knows? We'll see what we got going on.
Yeah.
All I know is I gotta get going to bed because I gotta get up at 3 a.m. So
3, yeah, I'm up not quite that early, but early nonetheless.
So
all right, boo-boo, get some rest, man.
Social media, We Are ND Nation website, wearenddnation.com. Till next time, go Irish.
Go Irish.